All right, history is being made. First of many. Welcome to the first episode of The Locker Room, where two former college athletes just talk ball and everything in the world of sports.
Hey man, I'm just happy to be able to get on this call today, man. And hey, we've been trying to plan this for a long time, and we finally got it done.
Man, I mean, close to a year probably when we
Look,
first
it's
talked
it's been
about
about
it.
a year, man. It's been about a year.
All right, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. I'll let you go first since you got the nicer setup than I do.
Oh, no worries, no worries. But yeah, I'm Kijana Caldwell, man. I'm originally from Chicago area, southwest suburbs, Aurora, Oswego. Went to Oswego East High School. Played a little bit of football at University of Findlay. That's kind of where I got my sports background at. Played receiver a little bit, played a little bit of corner, and then my last few seasons of college football, I played safety, where I ended up getting a lot of my accolades: three-time All-Conference, All-Region, and AP All-American. I mean, it was a good time, good career, and had a great time. Now just living life, and hey, it is what it is, coaching high school football and whatnot.
Dang, so you did get started coaching
Yep, got started already, man. I'm
I,
over at the high school coaching receivers again, so back at my roots.
I wish my schedule just doesn't allow it, but I would love to coach high school football like that.
Look, I can see you being a quarterback's coach too, man. So I mean,
Yeah,
before we get into that, I'm gonna let you introduce
right,
yourself
right.
too, so we can go from there.
Right. My name is Jalen Banks from Oswego, Illinois, by way of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Kind of lived all over both states, both Minnesota and Illinois. Currently live in Wisconsin. As far as my background, I was fortunate enough to play college football at Eastern Illinois University and Missouri Southern State University down in Joplin, Missouri. You know, played Division I football and high level Division II football. Played quarterback, and yeah, that's essentially my background. Let's go ahead and let the people know how we know each other. Do you remember how we met?
Remember exactly how we met? I mean,
Not
I remember you
necessarily.
transferring in, but I want you to give a little whole detail. You probably got more of the story.
Well, before I transferred to Oswego East, we met on the Flyers.
Ah ha ha! Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, so there's a historically great AAU track and field team out in Aurora, Illinois, called the Aurora Flyers, and Kijan and I both ran for them. The summer of 2015 was my first year running with the Flyers, and I met Kijana just like in passing, really, just a day where we were working out. But my family ended up moving to Oswego, which borders Aurora. And when we moved to Oswego, Illinois, I ended up transferring to Oswego East. And we went from being like halfway teammates through AAU track to being full-time teammates at Oswego East for 2 years. And the rest is history.
Yep, just a little bit of that quarterback receiver connection. You know, he came in, and I was like, hey, he's my guy from day one. So
I mean, it helped that I could throw the ball.
yeah,
I'm
yeah, for
not,
sure.
thing, it was a little thin before I got there. No shade. It was a
No,
little
hey,
thin.
no worries. But hey, we got it done. We got in the playoffs, and it was a good high school career. I'm proud of it. So
No, it was dope. We definitely laid a lot of the foundation for what OE is today. So proud of that. But all right, let's go ahead and get things rolling. We're not even a week removed from the draft. What were your initial reactions from this past weekend?
you know, the one word I can say is surprised, from to say the least. I mean, who wasn't surprised about the whole situation that went down? But I mean, the first I like to really go on like kind of draft grades, where my favorite teams were, who I think won the draft, just
Mhm.
player for player, just go from there. Really, I mean, I can start off. I think personally, my favorite team, best grade in the draft, was the Denver Broncos. I really, really liked the Denver Broncos draft. In the first round, they take Barron out of
Mhm.
Texas. He complements Surtain, and I think they end up moving Riley Moss to the slot. And they already had a good. I mean, they ended up bringing up the safety from the 49ers too.
Talona
Yeah,
Hufanga.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. So
Hmm.
like, they got a solid defensive core, and then they bring on my guy Pat Bryant out of Illinois as a receiver. They had some solid receivers, no standouts other than Cortland Sutton, but they needed someone else in that receiving core, and I think Pat Bryant complements him well. And then surprisingly, I didn't think he was going to go that high. The running back in the second round, R.J. Harvey. They had three solid running backs in um, Javante Williams, and I can't. Well, I'm not blanking on the other two names, but they had some good running backs there. But they bringing in R.J. Harvey really, I think, puts them at the next level. They had also the guy out of Notre Dame.
Hmm.
I can't think of his last name, his full name either. But look, they really won the draft in my opinion. So, what about you?
Well, I would say I'll go as far as like my initial reactions before I get
Uh huh.
into like my favorite. My initial reaction was I know they say like it's a copycat league, you hear it all the time, but this season, this off season in particular, both in free agency and in the draft, I felt as if you saw that everybody is copying what Philadelphia just did. A lot of the
Oh
teams
yeah.
drafted multiple pass rushers. You saw 18 linemen go in the first round, either defensive or offensive linemen. And if you count Jahan Campbell, who Philly took, who's like a
Hmm.
halftime pass rusher, that's 19. 19 linemen out of the first 32 picks. And so I just feel as if everybody looks at Philly and they're like, they can rush the passer, they can stop the run, and they can do anything on the offensive side of the ball at will because of their offensive line. But go ahead.
But hold on, before you go ahead, but even to bring up the copycat league, it's funny that you bring that up with Philly because now you see that in the Giants with
Mm-hmm.
how Houston drafted Will Anderson and C.J. Stroud,
Yeah.
and now you've got the Giants going on drafting Jackson Dart and Abdul Carter. Like it's just the trade ups and the scenarios that happen. They are really pretty much a copycat league.
I mean, throughout the history of the game, if you want to transform your team, it's mainly one of two positions, three if you count offensive tackle, but it's
Yeah.
quarterback or pass rusher.
Yep.
And if you have the opportunity to get both, I mean, if I were Cleveland, I don't know if I would have traded that second pick. If you're able to pair Abdul Carter and Miles Garrett, like by the time Miles Garrett's current deal finishes up, you would just now start having to potentially pay Abdul Carter. Like you could have gotten 4 years, 5 years by picking up his fifth year option before you even have to
I
worry
get it.
about.
I get it. I
I
get it
just
both ways.
since and I got to get to my team, but I'm just saying like the
Yep.
fact that everybody spoke about him as like the generational type pass rusher and you already have one on your team. I mean, I get like you got to recuperate some draft capital after all the Deshaun
Hmm.
stuff, but it would have been too enticing for me. But I'll get to my favorite draft, and it was also the Denver Broncos. I mean, we had talked about it just on draft day. In my notes, I have down help for Bo and stopping Pat. Like everything that they did was for those two reasons. You
Yep.
got to stop Patrick Mahomes, and you got to help out Bo Nix. But to get Jade Barron, I mean, my favorite team, you can't see it in the background or anything, but the Minnesota Vikings. I was praying he would have fell to I want to say pick 25 or 24 it
Hmm.
was, but you take Jade Barron, and again, you have the defensive player of the league. And Pat, you already talked about Riley Moss, but I
Hmm.
mean, Jade can play in the slot as well. Riley Moss
Yeah.
held his own on the outside. I mean, and they had the McMillan, the other corner, who played well too. But they also took two other pass rushers. I mean, you have Nick Benito, and on the edge as
Yep.
well. You have Zach Allen. I mean, again, it's that copycat league. The Eagles had waves of pass rushers that were able to just come in and go. So the Broncos, looking at how Philly beat them, it's like, hey, like this is how you beat them. And it's not as if the Broncos were too far off. Like they were a field goal away from being 2-0 against the Chiefs on the season.
You know it's that black magic.
You see, Dre Greenlaw got hurt again. It was looking scary. It was like, all right, they got Jade. They just drafted Savion Jones and Q Robinson, and now Drake. They brought in Talona Hufanga, and all
Yeah.
of a sudden Drake gets hurt. I don't know, but yeah, I mean R.J. Harvey, Javonte Williams left in free agency, but
Oh
R.J.
yes, yes,
Harvey,
yes.
who I mean, there were so many running backs, but
Andre
he,
Estime, and yeah, they were
yeah,
a solid three back core, and they
yeah.
rotate him well. So RJ Harvey fit in well.
But the biggest thing about the Broncos, and I don't know if it was the O line or if it were the backs, but they did not run the ball well. I mean, that offense went
Hmm.
through Bo, and I want to say, was their second leading rusher. He had like 400 or 500 yards himself, but you got to be able to establish the run game. But the thing about Pat Bryant, I saw him play live against my EIU Panthers. Week one of the college football season. It went well for him. It didn't go too well for us. So I saw him play live, and he is I I know a lot of people are like, I can't believe he went that high, but he's a good player. But also,
Yeah.
one of the things that a lot of people have to understand when it comes to these draft picks, it's less about what we think about the players and more about how these players fit specific teams. Sean Payton said, I saw a lot of Michael Thomas and Pat Bryant. If he sees Michael Thomas, nobody knows better how to use Michael Thomas than Sean Payton. If he sees a copycat of him, then why wouldn't he take him early? Like he values that particular style of player, that build, that body. So of course he took him when he saw him available. I mean, did anybody think Michael Thomas was going to go as early as he did in what was that, the 2017 draft, the
Yep.
2016 draft? I mean, maybe, but nobody's foresaw what he would become in New Orleans. So now you've got Cortland Sutton, who's essentially like your Marcus Colston, and now you've got Pat Bryant, who could potentially be your Michael Thomas, and now you've got I'm blanking on the scat back that they have.
Oh yeah, I can't think of his name. He's actually it's funny though because I played against him in college.
I'm blanking on
He
his
went
name.
out of Notre Dame College and went to Youngstown.
Yeah.
Jaleel McLaughlin.
Yes, McLaughlin.
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin is your scat back, your Darren Sproles, your Reggie Bush, and then now you got R.J. Harvey, who's your Deuce McAllister, your Mark Ingram. Like
Mm-hmm.
Sean is just building essentially what he had in New Orleans, and we've already heard the Drew Brees comparisons between Bo and Drew. Like he's a point guard, but I think he's more physically gifted than Drew Brees. Like he's not doing it in the league, but I've seen Bo Nix break 50-yard TD runs at college.
Which is he must be fast, quite insane. But I mean, hey, he was getting little in the league this year, so I give
He
it to him.
was. He ran for. I mean, I think I've been talking about Bo for a long time. That's been my
Yeah,
dude. But
Bo Smith,
Bosif Malik,
Bo.
Bosa Malik, Malik Nix. But had it not been for Jaden Daniels having the season he had, Bo Nix would have been Rookie of the Year. He accounted
Mhm.
for 31 TDs. Like, you know how many? I want to say the only rookie QBs that have accounted for 30 TDs or more was Justin Herbert, Cam, and then Jaden, if I'm not mistaken. In terms of like total TDs, not
Yeah,
TDs thrown. Cam rushed for however many touchdowns he did along with throwing 19 his rookie season. Justin Herbert threw 30 plus TDs. Jaden, did what he did, and then both threw like 29 TDs and had like two rushing and another receiving. Dude was hooping. It just got kind of glossed over because you had Jaden doing what he was doing week to week.
yeah.
What were some of your other favorite drafts?
Well, we're gonna go in. I think we should go in. My team now, the Chicago Bears.
Hey, hey,
Now, if I give him a
Colston
grade,
Loveland.
if I give him a grade, I give him a B, which is
Really?
still I give him a B
Okay.
because I think they missed out on the position they really wanted to draft.
Which
I
is
think they
what?
wanted to go running back.
Okay.
I don't think they thought that Omarion Hampton was going to go in that first round. I thought they figured he would slip to the second and then potentially trade up with the two picks they had early to get back in the
Do
second round.
do you think they felt as if Genty would fall to them?
Yes, but I think they quickly realized that the Raiders weren't going to pass that up.
Okay.
The Raiders were not going to pass up a running back at 6 in Genty. It just wasn't going to happen. So they pivoted and they were going to go tight end. After running back, tight end was the next thing on their draft. After them picking up that offensive line in free agency and so far and so forth through trade and stuff like that, they were going to go running back or tight end. And I think I like Colston Loveland. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that I like Colston Loveland with Ben Johnson better than I like Tyler Ward with Ben Johnson. Just the way they used Sam Laporta last year and everything like that, I think Colston Loveland really fits.
When it comes to the Colston Loveland pick, I know a lot of people were surprised, but it goes back to what we were just talking about. How does this organization value this player? You talked about Sam Laporta. Who mimics Sam Laporta more, Tyler Warren or Colston Loveland?
Mm-hmm.
And
It's Loveland.
when you think about what Ben Johnson does, his teams run the ball. Who ran the ball more in college football than Michigan? I mean, like
Yeah.
one of the academy schools, like Army or something. But like your traditional powerhouse, Power Five, or I guess we could say Power Four now, school was not running the ball as much as Michigan. He knows how to block. If you look at his run blocking compared to the other tight ends, his was the best because when you played for John Harbaugh, you better know how to run block.
Look, and look, that brings into another topic of scheme and fit. The second round pick in Luther Burden, he's the new Jameson Williams. They drafted him to fit a mold of just different things. Luther Burden's a very much of a yak type of receiver. Get the ball in the hands and he do what you got to do to score or get yards. And
So
I mean,
what-
they did a little bit of that with Williams with end arounds and reverses and just different things to get him the balls. Scheme wise, I think he fits.
So who was DJ Moore then in that offense?
DJ Moore, that's the thing. DJ Moore kind of does it all. He can go downfield. He can be that short yard yak receiver because I think they got multiple. It's for me. It's where Rome fits and how
Well,
they want to
that's
use
what
Rome.
that's what I was going to ask. Like, who plays the Amon Ra role? Is it Rome or is it DJ?
It's probably DJ. Rome fits more of the outside outside receiver role. He's going to be the red zone threat. In
Hmm.
my opinion, I think they're going to scheme him open. But that slot receiver, I think it's going to be more DJ Moore, and I think Rome is the X.
Hmm. I gotcha.
But
What else from their draft?
honestly, I like Munungai out of the seventh round. Rutgers running back Kyle Munungai. That's a
Hey,
back. I've watched him, and he can run.
hey, just because so many people that I'm connected to on social media, they're from Illinois and Bears fans. I've been seeing clips.
Yeah.
What Charleston White be saying? One of Satan's greatest soldiers, bro. I saw him do some people dirty. Like he is an angry, angry man.
Yeah.
But
Hey, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the draft. I give them a B, maybe a B plus, but just because they missed out on the back they wanted to get. But
mhm.
it is what it is. I like it.
I'm gonna go. A draft that I like a lot was Dallas.
Look, Jaden Blue, sleeper back.
I mean, yeah, Javonte Williams probably if they played a game today, he'd be the starter. But I mean, the first three picks, you go Tyler Booker, Alabama, offensive guard. Again,
Yep.
you lose Zach Martin. What was their longtime center name? Not Biotish, the one before him.
Oh my gosh, I know you're talking about. But go ahead.
I mean, like their interior over the past few years, I mean, has been kind of decimated. You lose Connor McGovern as well, but you take Guyton last year,
Mm-hmm.
you take Tyler Booker this year, you fortify that interior. But then in the second round, you get Donovan Ezeraku. What's the biggest thing that Dallas has been struggling like since they've had Micah?
Linebacker core getting look.
Yeah, but like another somebody opposite of Micah.
Yeah,
Like I
getting
mean,
to the quarterback and yeah,
yeah,
just
like
being complimentary or
Yeah,
complimentary.
like Demarcus Lawrence has been banged up. Even when he's been in, he hasn't been reliable in terms of pass rush. Like they had Sam Williams, they had Dante Fowler, but you're getting a guy who played Power Five football and was able to generate 16. He's a tad bit undersized. He's 6'2", but I'm not going to sneeze at that type of production, especially with the way the passing game is in college football. So I know everybody was like bashing on Shamar Stewart. With today's spread, how many opportunities do guys actually get to rush the passer? It's all RPOs, it's all quick games, bubble screens. How many teams are actually dropping back? So dudes may only have a handful of opportunities to actually rush the passer. So in today's college football, he was able to generate 16 sacks, and you're able to get him in the second round. Like this is a guy who many people had going in the first, like late first, but still in the first. So you get him in the second round. You get Jaden Blue, but then you get Siobhan Ravel in the third.
They,
Look, I
they say he
understand.
wasn't called to know what he's doing, but hey, he did something this time.
Hey, I know you
It's
got
his
Deron
world.
Bland, you got Deron Bland, you got Trayvon, but the best teams can send out multiple DBs. I mean, again, Philly, they won the Super Bowl, so they are the blueprint. They were able to send out Darius Slay, they were able to send out Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Isaiah Rogers, Avonte Maddox barely saw the field. I'm not gonna say barely saw the
Sidney
field.
Brown barely saw the field coming
Sidney
off
Brown
injury.
barely saw the field. They told James Bradbury, my guy, like we appreciate everything you've contributed to this team. Hasta la pasta. Like
Yeah,
guys, I mean, the Chiefs at their peak, you had L'Jarius Sneed, you had Trent
Trent McDuffie.
McDuffie, you
Yep.
had Joshua Williams. Obviously the back end, you had
Safety. I
just
can't. I can't think of the safety. Oh,
he,
Reed.
Yeah, Justin Reed, Brian
Yep.
Cook, Juan Thorne. Like they could deploy 6, 7 DBs. So I mean, you get Siobhan Ravel in the third round, who some people graded like as a first round talent, but due to injuries and a couple other things, like you get him in the third. And then Jaden Blue, I mean, home state kid who comes from. Have you looked? I want to say it was the 2022 Texas backfield. Like 5 of their running backs got drafted. Bijan,
Mm-hmm.
Roshan Johnson,
Rashawn Johnson.
Brooks, Blue, and then the other back. He got drafted this
This.
year too.
Yep. This year just that they just had. What did Wisner get picked? Or he's young.
He's young. It's another
Oh,
one.
okay.
But anyway, they had five of the backs on their roster from 2022 drafted. That's like Alabama-esque. That's like Georgia-esque. Like you're getting a legitimate NFL back by taking this guy. I got one more team. What was another team that you had that you liked their draft?
I think my last team, which is actually pretty surprising, I liked the the Houston Texans. I'm a big receivers guy.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
liked that they drafted the two cats out of Iowa State. You lose Stephon Diggs, you bring in Jaden Higgins, who is my biggest. I don't even know if I call him a sleeper. That's my favorite receiver in the draft. Other than him, I like Mecca Buka. He's great. Jaden Higgins is my favorite receiver in the draft. He's a big body, can do it all, getting in and out of his cuts, runs great routes, high points to football. great receiver. And then Jalen Noel,
Hmm.
you are getting an you had an injured Tank Dell and now getting probably one of the fastest receivers in the draft in Jalen Noel. They drafted a great receiving class, and I think it pairs well with C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins.
Yeah.
I mean, their defense is already solid. He's been a defensive head coach, and I think he's complementing that now with some offensive weapons. So I think, and Joe Mixon's a great back.
Yeah.
So
So to your point, I mean, you don't know if you're getting when you're going to get Tank Dell back. Jaden Higgins mirrors Nico Collins in a lot of ways, but he can run routes probably better than Nico can.
mm-hmm.
And then with Noel, again, he could fill that tank role for the time being. But you still have Dalton Schultz. I know a
Yep.
lot of people they were a little concerned about the offensive line, but they took the tackle out of Minnesota. Their offensive line coach, he was with Coach Fleck when they were at Western Michigan. Like he's put out tons of dudes into the league. So I mean, like I mean Minnesota in general, even though they haven't probably lived up to the hype of like the PJ Fleck era, other than that one season in 2019, everybody that comes out of there is a good football player. So you get potential starting tackle from the University of Minnesota. I don't want to butcher the guy's name, just like out of respect. But yeah, I mean, and then they traded for Ed Ingram, who got benched in Minnesota for whatever reason. Dalton Reisner, they ended up signing him, who's
Mm-hmm.
been, a good guard in the league. So they ended up rolling with Dalton Reisner halfway through last season. But Ed Ingram has a lot of snaps in this league. You trade for him, so he's like your other guard. I mean, the only thing that they probably could have addressed more in the draft is the O line, but
O line. I mean, they took a lot of sacks last year, so they could have
yeah.
definitely.
But nah, I like that one. I went with another team I went with was the Ravens. I mean, they have like a theme. I don't, as far as I can tell, it's like big, physical, tough.
Yeah.
I mean, Carson Vincent, the offensive tackle out of, I want to say it was Bama State. He's 6'7", like 330, and ran a 5'1" at the combine. Who's
Big
six
buddy can
seven?
move.
Who's seven running 5'1"s?
Big buddy can move.
And they got him in like the fourth round, but you get Malachi Starks in the first
That's
round.
look that improves your secondary drastically.
Real,
But you got Kyle Hamilton, you got Marlon Humphrey.
Yeah, you get Malachi Starks who's versatile. Obviously, you can't put him outside, but he is versatile. I mean, you got Nate Wiggins last year. They probably could have
Yep.
addressed corner a little bit more, but they'll probably do that next year. But in terms of your two safeties, you're Gucci.
Yep.
Like let Kyle Hamilton do what he does best.
They
Just
need one more. They need another corner. They got everybody else. Marlon in the slot. He's getting a little older, so you got him for maybe a couple more years.
yeah,
But then, like I said, you got Starks and Hamilton with Wiggins on the other side. So
it is just real quick on Marlon Humphrey. It is just crazy. It feels like yesterday, like he was a rookie, and now it's like Marlon Humphrey's getting older. Like what? I remember
yeah,
watching him. I remember watching him in the national championship game against Clemson when we were in high school. And now
yeah.
it's like, yeah, Marlon's getting up there. What does that say about us? If Marlon's
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm like, man.
if
And that,
Marlon
like, that's what
getting
I
up
said.
there,
And I be coaching. I got these young dudes calling me, "Oh, head back in your day." What do you mean back in my day? I just played. I'd be like, "Come on, man. Like, chill out, chill out."
my little brother be on the same type of time. I'm like, hey, bro, like I can still go now. Like, don't get it twisted. Like these legs can still move. But yeah, you get Malachi Starks. They got Mike Green, who was kind of like Donovan
My,
Ezrakus. He let the
got a Marshall, right?
he let the country in sacks.
This is what my thing on him. I don't know how because a lot of people had him going first round, which he ended up dropping. I'm trying to figure out reasoning why. Like, what did people see that others
Well,
didn't see that made him drop like that? Do you have a take on that?
it wasn't the tape. It was off field stuff.
I got you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Character issue stuff. But what I will say is, with his situation, who knows? But the Ravens, unfortunately, have had issues in the past with off the field issues with a former running back of theirs
Mm-hmm.
and then a current kicker of theirs. So if they went ahead and picked them, I'm going to
I
assume they
mean,
did the. I'm going to.
they said
Never
the same
mind.
thing about Jalen Carter, and you see what he doing for the Eagles.
But that's another. I mean, even though their defense has been really good, the fact that there are clear areas where they can improve, like they really haven't had a pass rusher in some time.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've kind of like patched that area. Like last year they patched it up with Kyle Van Noy.
No way.
They had Jadavian for a little bit. They've like kind of swung in. I don't want to say miss, but like David Ajabo really hasn't been what you wanted him to be.
Yeah.
Like they've been solid there, but they haven't had a dude there probably since Elvis Dumerville towards the end of his career. Like he had like a 16 sack season.
Hmm.
Obviously, before then, Terrell Suggs. But yeah, like they really haven't had like any dudes on the edge in almost a decade. They just been,
Hey, but I like the pick. I like the pick. I like
but
those
yeah.
teams that we got there. But look, now it's really time to get into the real thing of this
hmm
draft.
I'm ready.
Shador Sanders.
I mean, we kind of differ on why.
Yes, we probably do differ on why, but my thing is, so he drops projected. He's QB2 in the draft. That's what everybody had him at. Whatever.
Not me
We
though.
we had knew we. I know. We knew we had him at Cam. We can't had Cam Ward. A lot of
hmm
people had Shador 2, Jackson Dart 3. Like we've
hmm
talked about before, we've had this conversation that Jackson Dart. We both believe that he's probably more athletic than both the top
hmm
two quarterbacks that were supposed to be in there. I like the
Athletic
hurdles. I
in
like the speed.
athletic in different ways. I
Yeah,
think similar to Caleb and Jaden, and I'm not saying that Jackson Dart is the same type of athlete as Jaden Daniels, but Cam can elude and avoid far better than Jaden Daniels. Like Jaden Daniels is straight line.
yeah,
Same thing with Jackson. Jackson can break a 30-yard run, 40-yard run. Cam's not doing that. But
yeah,
in the pocket or scrambling and eluding, Cam's a better athlete in that way. If you get what I'm saying.
yep, yep, yep. So him dropping to 144, I
Mm-hmm.
think okay, there had to be something. Fifth round is quite egregious.
It is.
I could see him going maybe third round, whatever. You didn't think he was better than some other quarterbacks. What the next QB3 went third round, and Dylan Gabriel was that
No.
QB3? Who was three? No,
Shuck.
Shuck, yeah, out of the Saints,
Louisville.
and he went round two,
Yeah, he went pick 40.
pick 40. So yeah,
And
so
then and then it was Jalen Milroe who went in like
Milrow,
he went like
yeah,
late 50s, early 60s, like 61 or something like that. And then it was Dylan Gabriel.
Gabriel, yeah. But him going to 144. Honestly, I think I did him a better service of going 144 than it did go high. Specifically for the Browns, though,
Okay.
they don't have to pay him $40 million that they did before.
Hmm?
They got him on a low contract, little guaranteed, and they get him for 5 years, and he don't need the money. And
Five
he
years
might.
because they'll franchise tag him.
Oh yeah, he'll be on the team for all five.
But I'm saying five because he doesn't have a fifth year option because he's not a first. Like they'd have to
Yeah.
tag him.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now there's then the four, and he'll end up getting a contract. I'm just being honestly, he's gonna find his way as a starter in the league
Okay.
somehow, some way.
With the Browns or somewhere else.
Honestly, probably with the Browns.
Okay.
I mean, they don't have they got five quarterbacks. You've already heard the GM say they made a mistake on Deshaun Watson. He's not on the team probably after this year.
I
They're
mean,
not.
he's really not on the team now. Like he's
Yeah.
in the facility, but he's not.
You don't commit to Joe Flacco. Well, how old is he? 40 something. You don't commit to Joe Flacco.
Hmm?
To be honest with you, you're not committing to Kenny Pickett. You've got Dylan Gabriel and you've got Shador Sanders.
Okay. So
Who wins?
are
That's
you
how
so you're saying of the four, he beats them all out.
not currently, not day one,
Okay.
but he eventually becomes the guy, and he will start some games this year. Just depends on when.
Okay.
It could be game 5, it could be game 6. He eventually becomes a starter at Cleveland.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Why do you think he fell?
Why do I think he fell? I think he fell because the NFL first, he came off as Shador Sanders. I'm big time. My dad told me, my dad said I'm going to certain places, whatever. I'm number 2, I'm QB1, whatever his persona was, that I'm Shador Sanders. They didn't like that from the jump. Coaches didn't like it, GMs didn't like it. You can't be bigger than the team, and the Sanders brand is bigger sometimes, if not bigger than the NFL. I just got a notification on he's the number 1 selling jersey in the NFL right now. I mean, it's and NFL rookies right now. So it's
I believe
just
it.
what it is, what it comes with it being Shador Sanders, the title. I think they didn't want that. I think the league did not want that. They wanted to kind of show him you can't be bigger than NFL. I mean, in a team. So
Okay.
he fell in some way.
So I 1000% agree that fifth round is wild. Like, come on, like be for real. Like fifth round, like come on. Of the 5 QBs taken before him, I'm not saying that the 5 are all better than him, but between Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck, and Jalen Milroe, I understand why. I like Cam Ward and Jackson Dart. I already told you and the rest of our friends like those are my 2 QBs. Like I already had them in my evaluation that they were better than Shador Sanders. Do I think Tyler Shuck and Jalen Milroe are better QBs than him today? No, but they mimic more of the top QBs of today's game than Shador does. Like if you watch Tyler Shuck, there's shades of Carson Wentz before Wentz got hurt and kind of fell apart. There's shades of Josh Allen. When you watch Jalen Milroe, it's like physically, I don't think he is the passer that Jalen Hurts was by the time he was leaving college. Like physically, he's like a rich man's Jalen Hurts. He's like physically like a rich man's Marcus Mariota. He's not the passers that they were, but those two in particular have traits that Shador doesn't. Like Jalen Milroe can break an 80-yard touchdown run in today's NFL. Tyler Shuck can make every single throw. Like I've gone back and I've like really watched him. Dude can sling the rock. Additionally, Tyler Shuck played in a pro style offense out of Louisville. Jalen Milroe didn't play in a pro style offense out of Washington, but again, he's got crazy traits. How many QBs are running 4-3 in the entire NFL? Three.
I even think it goes into the aspect of, well, going back to Shador Sanders. What is he without Dion as your head coach?
And we've never seen it.
We've never seen it. So that's the biggest question is how do you translate somewhere else without your dad being there? So that, I mean, that's another aspect of his entire thing. If he didn't go to Colorado, say he went to an Ohio State, somebody was going, they needed a quarterback. He was in transfer portal. He went to Ohio State and played for Ryan Day, or transferred to Miami when they needed a quarterback, transferred to any of these places that needed a quarterback at the time. What does that look like then?
Yeah.
It could be a lot different.
That's
But
valid.
then again, you don't know that. So
As far as why I think he slid, I think it's there's a lot of reasons. Number one, there was a lot of really good players in the draft, and there weren't a ton of teams that necessarily needed quarterbacks today. Again, in the first round alone, we had 18 linemen go. And if you count Jod Campbell, 19. So that's only a handful of other picks left. You know for sure that Cam was going to go one, but after that, it was really a toss-up as far as whether or not we'd see another QB go. So 18 picks off the board, linemen. Now you've got wide receivers, you've got running backs, you got DBs. How many slots are there left for a quarterback to go in the first round? Like anybody that would have taken a quarterback at that point would be reaching. I mean, even though the
yeah,
Giants, yeah, I mean, even though the Giants took Jackson Dart in the 25 or 26, people felt as if they were reaching.
which is crazy because they have two vet quarterbacks in the building. But that it's all developmental stuff.
Yeah,
I think teams are realizing that it's not in your best interest unless you have to
yeah,
start a rookie quarterback.
yeah. And so I think the average viewer was shocked, but the average viewer isn't really paying attention to the rest of the needs of the NFL. So over half the first round is linemen, so that drastically cuts his chances of going in the first round. And then there is like the Dion aspect. Coach Sanders talked about how the only way he would coach in the NFL is if he coached his son. If I'm a head coach, and we know owners can be emotional, not necessarily think things through, and they're like, man, we can have Deion Sanders as our head coach if we draft Shador Sanders. If you're a coach from the hot seat, you're signing your pink slip the moment you take Shador in the first round. Like if you're Brian Daboll,
Especially that early.
yeah,
I mean, if you're that early, your team's bad already.
that's what I'm saying. So if you're Brian Daboll and you take Shador at 3 and you don't make the postseason, you're done. Even more so because you took Deion Sanders' son.
Yeah.
Now, do I necessarily think the Mara family would make that rash of a decision? Not necessarily, but
Who knows?
who knows? If you're the Jets and your owner is Woody Johnson and I'm Aaron Glenn and I take Shador at what, 6 or whatever pick they had, or like 8, and you go 5-11 this season and you start the following season 1-5, hey, Coach Sanders, come coach your son. I think that's another thing that a lot of casual fans do not think about. But most importantly, and this is what I was alluding to when I talked about why Shuck and Miller went before him. Other than accuracy, and I'm not saying he's not accurate by doing quotation marks, but that's like the only trait that people talk about when it comes to Shador. You look at all the top quarterbacks in the league, even down to like the middle pack of QBs. They all have traits, like physical traits, that can lift a team, or at least lift their play. We'll just go, other than like Joe Burrow. Like you wouldn't say like Joe Burrow is like extremely fast or Joe Burrow has like a rocket of an arm. But Patrick, Josh are all freaks in some capacity. Patrick is extremely flexible. It allows him to make any throw that you can think of. Josh Allen is a physical specimen. He's 6'5", can break any run that you want and again make any pass that you want. Lamar is Lamar. He's the greatest the greatest quarterback that can run we probably ever seen. And then you get into like that next tier. You've got Justin Herbert. You have Jalen Hurts. Like Jalen Hurts is a plus athlete. Like he had a 40-yard touchdown run in the Rams game. People forget about that because Saquon did what Saquon did. But Jalen Hurts had a 45-yard touchdown run in that division.
600 pounds and benching whatever.
Yeah. Justin Herbert, I mean, a lot of people bag on him because like he doesn't win a postseason game, but he can sling the rock. Like Justin Herbert is, in terms of arm talent, is there with anybody else you want to put up there. And just keep going down the list. Like all these quarterbacks are uber talented physically. On top of like up here, Shador's not in that realm. Like, is he? I don't even know if he throws the ball in the same level as like Jared Goff, respectfully. The or even we can keep going down the list. Like you have Kyler Murray, a three guy who can also spin it. Baker Mayfield can spin the rock. Like those first 15 QBs in the league are like one percenters in terms of their talent at the position. And you don't take a quarterback in the first round if you don't feel as if they have the potential to reach that at some point. Like Cam Ward, you can see it. Like Cam Ward, all the stuff that he does, hey, like it's like okay, yeah, I can see him scratching and clawing into that top 15, top 10 for sure. Jackson Dart maybe a little bit less, but again, he's got more traits than Shador. So that's why I feel as if ultimately it was like him as the prospect that I feel as if people's love for the Sanders family blinded them from seeing. But I wouldn't have taken Dylan Gabriel before him. I thought that
I
was
don't know what that was, but I mean, let's just go.
if you're the Cleveland Browns, why?
It's the fact that this is me. They knew. I think Cleveland knew they were drafting Shador after Gabriel, no matter what, because at that point no one needed him, so they knew he would keep falling.
Yeah.
He would just keep falling because at that point it's like, what am I going to need Shador Sanders for? Why am I putting Shador Sanders behind Patrick Mahomes? Why am I putting Shador Sanders behind all these people? It's essentially sitting there for no reason.
But even them, like, as prospects, you're playing in Cleveland. It's cold. It's windy. Why are you picking these two quarterbacks to come play in Cleveland? Like, I just feel as if you're setting them up for failure.
Gabriel already said he didn't want to play in a cold.
Like, if you watch Dylan Gabriel at Oklahoma and they're playing in windy Kansas, that ball was sailing. Like, I saw him throw a hitch to the field. They were on the left hash. He saw a hitch to the field in the Red River rivalry. How that passing get picked off? I'm like, he must have prayed before the game.
Look,
It was a level 2 hitch.
it is what it is. That's look,
I was like, ooh,
man.
like
Hey, but
good play. Like don't get me wrong, good players, but just not in Cleveland. Like you gotta put Dylan
it's the
in.
new stadium. They got new stadium plans. They got everybody
Do
on the
they?
dome. Yeah,
Oh, okay, never mind
but
then.
I mean, look, you could say they build a dome. It could be 8 years before they build a dome. So
That's fair. But like, put them in a dome or send them to Florida or Cali. But like
that's what
Cleveland.
Hunter went. That's what Travis like. I'm back in my state. But
But
look,
all right,
yeah. But all right, man. We got a lot of football going on. We can
yeah.
transition a little bit.
Couple quick sleeper picks.
Number one
Darius.
sleeper pick of my entire draft. I can tell you right now. Harold Fannin Jr.,
Okay.
tight end out of Bowling Green.
Okay. I like that. I like that one. They run a lot of 12 in Cleveland. Like, I mean, in 2020 when they lost Odell, there was times where they were out there in like 13. They put Njoku out wide and have Harrison Bryant and Austin Hooper. Like,
Yep.
so yeah. I got three in low key four. Darius Alexander, defensive tackle out of Toledo. Like,
Toledo pushes good. I don't know what it is. They got some good water in Toledo.
yeah, Darius Alexander, D tackle out of Toledo. He went third round to the Giants. Like Dexter Lawrence is already going to take up two linemen. Darius Alexander can get after the Q, so watch out for him. Alec Ayamainer, receiver out of Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Tennessee. I mean that wide receiver two spot in Tennessee is wide open. They took him in the fifth round. I want to say. Go watch his 23 tape against Colorado and
Oh
Travis
yeah,
Hunter.
against Trav. Yeah. I'm already hit.
I watched that game live. I watched it live. I was like, yo, who is this? Ref, help, do something.
Yeah,
I was mad because they were
I'm
up
already.
and they could not stop him for nothing in the world. Like they threw every DB at him.
I mean, then again, it's Colorado 2 years ago with no defensive line, no personal quarterback. He had all
Look,
the.
I hear you, but
I know. Like, they still was making out there making plays, so I get.
you put up 300 yards in a game. I don't care who was at D line or what DBs are out there. Like that's Cam Scatterbo.
Scatterboot to the Giants.
They probably should have made my favorite draft. Man, it was a lot of teams that did well
The
in the
thing
draft.
is, though, I really like Tyrone Tracy.
I do too.
He just got to stop fumbling the football.
But like Cam can do it all. Like
He remind me like a white Brandon Jacobs.
yeah, I feel like
Just because he's going to the Giants, that's why I say that.
he's like Will Shipley, but like with a little bit more wiggle. You know?
Yeah.
Like he got
Can
a little bit
receive
more.
too. Can catch out the backfield. Yeah,
Yeah, like he.
boy gonna be nice.
And my last sleeper pick, and it's like kind of morbid in a way, but Quinn Ewers.
Miami.
Yeah, Tua misses time every year, and his entire time in Miami, well, they have Zach Wilson too.
Zach Wilson. Yep.
But like how Quinn went in the seventh, I have no idea. But Quinn Ewers with that RPO game and those receivers,
Before we
to
go, I do have two. I missed two. Before we switch on to go to basketball, I got two. Give me one real quick. Both cats, Arkansas. Landon Jackson, edge out of Arkansas. He's going to be a menace on the Bills. He's going to be a menace. And a guy I played against in college. He went to Hillsdale College, transferred to Arkansas. Isaac Tesla
Tesla,
to Detroit.
Tesla.
Tesla to Detroit. I just think he's a good receiver, fast, moves well, got a little bit of wiggle to him. I think he just works harder than a lot of people. So he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good. I think he's a Dan Campbell type of guy.
Who's their OC now? Detroit. Did they
They
promote?
didn't bring one in. I thought they promoted. Maybe they did bring somebody in.
Okay, I'll look into
No,
that.
the D coordinator that they promoted. They promoted the D coordinator. He was a
Okay,
linebackers coach.
I was just
But
curious, like how much carryover is going to be. But
yeah,
all right, that's it on the draft. We'll definitely do a lot more touch up is
yeah.
when it comes to the NFL. Let's go ahead and get into the NBA playoffs. The Warriors and the Rockets are playing right now. Rockets are up 69-44 as we speak. Minute left in the second half. But later tonight, we've got Timberwolves and Lakers. Timberwolves up 3-1. Is it Wolves in five?
Hey, we got a podcast. Monkey in it. Hey, and I'm gonna catch a bass. Lakers in seven. I'm kidding.
Hey. So I wish that we were able to have this sooner. I mean, the take of mine would have aged like milk at this point. But the only reason why I have any amount of faith in the Lakers is for this reason only. Unlike pretty much any other team in the postseason, they have two players that at any given night can be the best player in the world, whereas everybody else has one. Like, maybe you can make that argument for Jaylen Brown and the Celtics having two, maybe. But everybody else has, well, I take that back. Warriors have two. Because Jimmy, for whatever reason,
All right.
he's
All
hooped.
right.
Did he not have?
Jimmy Butler pissed me off. It's all right.
I mean, you're talking to a Miami Heat fan, so I want to be objective on the pod, but like,
No, but he could. He could drop 35 anytime when he's not injured.
I'll take that back. I thought he had a 30-point game this postseason. Never mind. We'll just go Lakers. I mean, Celtics potentially having two. Everybody else having one. But Lakers definitely have two. Where it's like any given night, LeBron and Luka can be the best player in the world. And the fact that you have two of those is hard for me to be like, yeah, no, they don't have a shot at coming back.
The only reason I say that, honestly, I don't even say seven. I was honestly kidding because they could literally lose tonight because they have no big. Jackson Hayes had 2 points and I think 2 rebounds last game.
G League Wilt.
As the center.
He didn't play a lot, though.
Played as center. Who else is playing center?
Did you see? I mean, you played basketball more than I did. But whatever zone they were playing, Austin Reeves was in the paint.
Yeah, look. Jaden McDaniels had 11 rebounds.
Yeah, Jackson Hayes only played 4 minutes. So
Why
but no,
start him? I don't get,
for the opening tip so he can jump.
like, bro.
No, looking.
No, but it's gonna be an interesting game tonight.
What's bothered me the most, well, not the most, but a couple things that bothered me is the rebounding on the Lakers end. Like, it feels as if like the Wolves just want it more. I mean, Luka being one of the top 5 players in the league, like the Mavs played a lot of primetime games. Like, I've watched a lot of Luka, but being a LeBron fan, like, I've watched more Luka than I probably ever have, like, within a, certain amount of time. And you know me. I'm, like, not try hard, but, like, give it my all. Am I tripping, or is he really just, like, not giving effort on defense?
They don't. We know you. We know you give effort on defense.
Is he
When there's a definition of football player that plays defense, that's Jalen.
Is he just not giving effort, bro, or am I tripping? Because there's times where I'm like, come on.
But that's the thing. I feel like it's like an on-off switch where like sometimes it's like, oh my God, all right, great, and other times like, what are you doing?
Last year, I mean, because he hates the Clippers, like he hates them with everything, with every fiber of his being. Last year against the Clippers, he was sitting in the chair, locking them up. But then now he'll close out, kinda.
Yeah.
like give a hand, and then Anthony's just driving to the basket, and you got Austin Reeves there. Like at least Austin gives effort. Like whenever he's on the perimeter, he's trying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I just feel as if it is their technique when it comes to defense, absolutely. But with Luca, I just feel as if there's no effort.
He may just be too slow. They say he gained 30 pounds. He might have. He just might be slow.
I look, if you get beat, so be it. At least be on his hip when he drives. He'll just let him like if he once he gets beat, he's like hopefully he misses and they tip it out and I could get a board. But
But
that
then again, he dropped 38 on the end. So it's like,
I get that, but bro. But do you think there's any chance that they can make it a series?
no.
You don't think so? So you think it ends
I,
tonight?
no, I'm going to say it's tonight, but I think if they don't win tonight, Timberwolves win in six. Because I don't think, what did Anthony Edwards have? 43
Mm-hmm.
or something like
Yeah,
that
I'm looking at it right now. He had 43.
the night before? I don't think he scores that well tonight, but with another game, another break, he puts it up at least 35 the following game. And that's tough to beat.
Additionally, what does this say about Anthony?
Menace, demon. And look, I love the fact I'm an Anthony Edwards guy. The whole like persona, like Anthony Edwards, he gets the little thing from the fan, the wrist brace, wears a wrist brace. He is I think he right now he's the people's like
Champ.
superstar. Yeah, he's the people's champ, people's superstar. Got all the commercials now. Like it's hard not to root for Anthony Edwards.
No, I really, I'm not gonna say I love him, but I really like him. He's like the last two postseasons. Not that he's reached like the peak, and I'm like, don't be mad at me for saying this, but like the last two postseasons, he's played like that Jimmy Butler role. Like you know how like the 22 postseason, the 23 postseason, the bubble postseason. Like Jimmy has like that same edge to him. Like
Yeah,
he's
bubble,
talking.
bubble for sure.
I mean, 23 postseason, he dropped 56 on Giannis and Drew Holidays. I'm just saying. But like the playoff Jimmy role, I feel is that the last two postseasons, like it's been Ant. He hasn't reached like the quite the peak of playoff Jimmy, but in terms of like being like the people's champ, like everybody rooting for him upsetting like the teams who everybody thought was gonna win. Like they beat the Suns last year. Then, they got to the Western Conference Finals. This year, it's looking like they're going to beat LeBron and Luca. Like, he's playing that spoiler, underdog, people's champ that Jimmy has played 3 or 4 postseasons in the last 5 years. I mean, I'm sad that it's against LeBron, who
Yeah.
is, for me, like, top 3 favorites ever. So,
But I give it
but
to him. He's playing well. He's playing good basketball, and I think he can get it done. It's gonna be tough playing against LeBron and Luca, but he's got the means to get it done.
I think if there's anybody that can do it, it's for sure him.
Yeah.
Like, where I can confidently be like, yeah. No, he can carry and win series by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, the Bucks got bounced 4-1. And real quick, and I don't want to necessarily like get into touching like debate show topics too much, but I guarantee you, if the Lakers lose tonight, this is going to be an indictment on LeBron's legacy. Well, he got bounced in the first round 2 years in a row. This time he had Luka Doncic with him and lost 4-1, blah, 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 whatever. Giannis, who's still in his prime, getting bounced by Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers in round one.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, I'm always going to lean towards, even though basketball is a little bit more individual, lean towards like it's a team sport. Like, you need help. Very few people can just simply do it all by themselves. And I think Giannis coming up short in the last couple postseasons, he's been healthy. For me, shows just how great LeBron was, like, before he hurt his ankle in the 21-22 season, where, like, it did not matter. Like, he was going to find a way to win. Like, that inevitability of, like, LeBron, especially when he got to Cleveland and like the team kind of dissipated. Giannis getting bounced 4-1 is just, it's kind of like unfathomable to me. Like
To the Halliburton. What the Halliburton?
and you can disagree. For me, Giannis is the second best player in the league. I would go Jokic 1,
Yeah.
Giannis 2, and then Shea.
You can't guard Giannis, which is crazy, but no.
Yeah, like it goes Jokic 1 because he's like unstoppable.
Yeah.
Granted, he has like more Luka in him to where it's like defensively, it's like there's a lot to be desired at times. But Giannis would be 2 because he's the best two-way in the world. Like, is he still the same defender he once was? Probably not. Like maybe like a notch lower. But like in terms of like both offense and defensive output, he's probably the best two-way in the world. Then I would go Shea. But the second best player in the world getting bounced in the first round, and we'll see if Jokic can make it out of the first round too. But like your best players in the world
Clippers
getting bounced.
fighting.
getting bounced early. I mean, what does it say about Giannis? And then also, is his time in Milwaukee done?
Yes, I think they blow the whole thing up.
Like 100%.
Yeah, they blow it up. They re up everybody. They're gonna trade. You know, I'm a fan. He needs to. Giannis already said he want to go. Come on to the Bulls. Come on to the Bulls. We'll give you Kobe White. We'll give you Vucevic. We'll give you Patrick Williams and a first.
Of a first,
Give me Giannis.
first for eternity. They're not just gonna like the amount.
Give me Giannis.
Maybe is it less so in the NBA where like you would trade a player within the same conference? I feel like in the NFL it's super rare. Like
Yeah,
very
no. I
seldom.
mean, basketball at this point, I think it's because of the picks you can get in basketball. They don't care because you can give picks, what, 7 years out?
Hmm.
You can
Like I
get
mean,
picks out of craziness in the NBA
yeah.
to get players. So at that point, they don't really care because eventually you're going to hit on a star because you just have the first round capital that you don't get in the NFL. So that's kind of the reason why they don't care as much to trade within conference or division.
Realistically, where does he go? Do you really think the Bulls is like that destination for him?
No, that's just my
Okay,
hope.
I got you. But
That's
like
just my hope.
realistically, where do you think he goes?
Realistically, Dallas got to make something shake. He already gave up Luca. He needs to find a star, and it's not Anthony Davis.
And it also fits like that mold he talked about, like playing defense. Giannis is gonna
Yep.
at least give you that.
Yep. I mean, it's that Dallas is an option. Other than that, I don't know where he could go.
I feel like Miami has the players that you could put like a great trade package in for.
But Dame wants to go to Miami, and I don't think he goes the same place Dame goes again. Dame's like, I
I don't
want to go to Miami.
I don't think it matters where Dame wants. Unfortunately, like he's out
Yeah,
six.
it did, but nah, I don't.
I think Miami could put together a good package. You send
You
him to
trade
the
you for that.
Heroes from Milwaukee.
Yeah, but so you're trading hero.
I don't know if they have draft capital, but like the Suns.
I forgot who I was talking to. They said something about the Suns, as in the Suns got enough for two maxes, and he thinks whoever I was talking to thinks this Detroit is gonna get Devin Booker and Kevin Durant.
If I'm Detroit, I mean, they got pieces, bro. Honestly, I would just rock out with what they have. Don't give up any of them dudes. Get rid of Isaiah Stewart.
I don't know what they're doing over there, but they need one more score. I think they need a score because Cade often get left on an island by himself where it's like Cade or nothing in the fourth quarter.
Jalen Duran been hurt though. He can hoop. He can hoop.
I mean, yeah, but I think you need a vet out there. You got a lot of young guys. You need a vet that's going to, when the time come, he going to make something shake. And that might be D-Book. In his home state.
Yeah, I can see that. Jaden Ivey, he been hurt.
Yeah, he been hurt for a minute.
That's who I meant. I meant Jaden Ivey. He been hurt. He only played 30 games this year. But nah, I could see D Book going there. I'd give up like one of my young cats and some picks for D Book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jalen Williams. No, not Jalen Williams. I'm thinking about, what's it called?
Yeah.
OKC.
Yeah. OKC, swing for Giannis?
Yeah, they could. They got a lot of capital to give up for Giannis. Like you could,
Like,
you could give up a lot for Giannis.
respectfully, Chet,
Oh yeah, you out of there.
Chet,
You out of there. Isaiah Joe.
Luke Dort.
Yeah,
It's for real, fellas. Joe, Chet, Dort, couple first.
and you get shy with Giannis and like man.
Hey, what Katniss Everdeen? Out of there. Sorry, guys. Adios. All right,
Look,
we running.
But yeah,
running a
it's
little
limited
long.
on what basketball we got right now. The playoffs games and they're rolling right now. We'll see what happens.
You want to go into MLB or you want to go into the kicker?
Look, we might as well get to that kicker, man. We can touch MLB another time, but we gotta get to that. We gotta get to this the real deal right now. The conspiracy, the whatever this is, the controversy of the century.
So just so people who will tune in know, we were going to touch on the MLB, just like early season reactions. We're 40 games in, like just kind of touching base and seeing like where the AL and the NL are sitting at. I currently live in Wisconsin. My favorite player so far this season has been Jackson Churio. Young cat is balling.
I like the Milwaukee pick. I'm from Chicago. We suck. The Sox suck. But, I rock out with my girls' team, the Reds, for a little minute. I gotta love Ellie De La Cruz.
Ellie. So
Demon.
last year I went to a Sox game against the Reds. It's a different kind of cat.
Real deal.
Different
Yeah.
kind of cat. Yeah. Like, I would love to know his 40. Like, very few like dudes in other sports do I care for their 40. His, I would love to see what it is.
At 6'4",
What do you think he run it? Like, if you gave him like 2 weeks to train and he ran it combine style, what do you think Ellie De La Cruz's 40 is?
4.56.
Really? Okay.
That's still fast. He not running 4.4. It's just not. There's no way. If he
I'm
runs a
saying
4.4, that's really surprising to me. I'm like, okay, he fast. Like he's fast, fast.
I feel as if you trained him, he can run like a 4.48, 4.47. Like just
I
straight up
understand it.
straight up street scats, like you just throw him some cleats and like have him run a 40. I think like yeah, he run like a 4.5.
Four
But if
five, yeah.
you give him like 2 3 weeks, be like, hey, this is how you start, like this is your knee drive, all that.
Yeah.
He run like a 4.47 because he can fly. But all right, everybody's favorite. I mean, like I guess you call it a sports debate topic because it's physical.
Look, it's physical. The battle.
There's a battle, combat sport topic currently. 100 men versus one gorilla.
I don't know your take on it yet. There is no way. No way. There's no men are beating a gorilla. It's just not possible.
So before I give like my full take, I don't like the whole when people are like 100 Brock Lesnar's or 100 John Jones, blah blah blah. There's only one John Jones in the world. So saying 100 John Jones could defeat one gorilla is like a moot point. There's
An
only
anomaly. Never gonna happen. A blue
like
moon.
it's not a there's one of him. There's one Brock Lesnar ever. Like that's not a thing to have 100 Brock Lesnar's. Like why I don't know why people keep saying that. But no, I don't 100 men versus one gorilla. There's two things to this. I don't think people understand the sheer physical nature of a gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
They're like 5'11 or so of pure muscle.
5'11" on all fours.
With an like a 8 9 foot wingspan. I also don't think people realize like the size of the average male. The average male is like 5'9", 160. That is not big by any stretch of the imagination. 5'9", 160? Like in any like sport, you're considered small unless it's wrestling. But like basketball, you're small. Football at 160, like beyond high school, you're small. Unless you were like blazing fast. Like you're probably not seeing the field at 5'9",
And what is that
160.
helping you? Running away from the gorilla? Like it's just not going.
Also, when it comes to like strength, and I'm not saying strength means that you can fight, but less than 1% of men in the world can bench 225. So like there's a strong possibility that if you dropped 100 random people in a cage or whatever setting you want with this gorilla, only one of them is going to be able to bench 225. Like, it's not happening, bro.
Look, going off the aspect of strength, just going off on a tangent right there. But look, strength's one thing. I looked up, like I said, I want to chat GPT and looked up, just ask chat, hey, what do you think? A full-grown male gorilla can lift over 1,800 pounds. That's 4 to 9 times stronger than every than every strong human in the world.
Right. What else the chat say?
Look, and then we're just talking about on aggression. Like the gorilla, they said the gorilla fight, fight with the gorilla, he's gonna tear you limb from limb, crush bones with a single.
Hey, have you watched Invincible? Have you watched
No,
it?
I haven't yet.
You've probably seen this, like the clip on Twitter, but there's a scene, and it's really early in the show, where one of the characters like takes somebody's head and like starts squeezing it, and like slowly but surely the dude's eyes pop out. That's what the gorilla's gonna do to one of these dudes. Like they're gonna take your little melon and just start squeezing it till it just implodes.
It's funny because even just going off, like I said, going off on the strength, a totally different topic. But like, it's the fact that what chat even gave me were, this is what it said. They said it's almost impossible for regular humans to surround and attack a raging gorilla because most of people would panic, break formation, and get picked off one by one.
Yep.
That's the thing, the mental aspect of it too. You have to have 100 men or 100 people set on one goal and not break that goal. They have to be like dead set on beating this gorilla. Because if one person, 2 people, whatever it is, does not follow suit,
You're done.
you're done.
Like yeah, I saw a tweet or post, whatever they call it now, on Elon's social media site, where it was like all these dudes on here talking about some fighting a gorilla. If they saw a pit bull chase them, they would run. You mean to tell me you're gonna go fight a gorilla?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Typically, I'm the one that's like, no, like, you can do anything you put your mind to, blah blah. This, nah, bro. Like,
Forget
nah.
about it. Forget about it.
Like, come on, man. Now, I'd pay to watch it. $39.99 pay-per-view? That'd be a very entertaining 17 minutes.
Entertaining, man. That's blood and gore.
Sign me up.
That's a horror film.
Sign me up to watch. Sign me up to watch. I'm not participating. I got family and loved ones. I got something to live for.
Like I said, I'm gonna see it. I need to do a little simulation or something. Just like I need to, you know, the videos on YouTube, whatever. They be like a lion versus gorilla or something like
Yeah.
that. They need to do 100 men versus gorilla and see that, and watch the simulation happen and see what.
So one that's more interesting, and I'm still like taking the spread on the gorillas, is the 1 million men versus 10,000 gorillas. I think that'd be interesting.
Not happening.
And I'm still taking the gorillas, but I think the 1 million men versus 10,000 gorillas, they have a better chance
A better chance than
than the 100
the
versus
100
one.
versus one.
I saw, bro. I mean, like, not that I ever thought that the men really had a chance, but I saw a video this weekend. It was in an enclosure, probably like a zoo or something. It was two gorillas fighting one, and these two gorillas couldn't get this one gorilla down. Come on, like just walk into your wherever you work, whether it's you, me, anybody that may tune in, and just look at your workplace and just look at the men that work there, and you would quickly get a sense of like, okay, this is what average people
I
are
just say
like.
don't bet on them. Don't bet on them. If you the spread, look, don't bet the spread. Don't bet the money line on the men either. Don't do it.
What do you think the payout would be if you did bet the humans?
The humans, the odds is that's plus 1,200. Plus 1,200.
Oh my god.
I'm not betting that. That's a bad. You know that's a bad bet. That's they say.
Hey, I'm about to start cramping.
That's a
Bro,
bad bet. Don't do it.
that is
But
too
look, man. I
funny.
know we've been on here. I wanted to touch on a little bit. Look, it was a good first show, man. I appreciate everybody who tunes in and will tune in. Look, I want everybody to come in and follow us on Instagram, man, at KJ the Locker Room. Get us on YouTube if you can. Jay, what's that YouTube for him? Let them know. The
Dude,
Locker Room Pod. Catch it out, man. Catch
we'll
us
have
there. Tune in, and we really appreciate you guys, man.
yeah, we'll upload clips to our Instagram. We'll have full episodes uploaded to our YouTube page. Again, this is just two homies that play football together, play college football, that number one love football, but ultimately just love sports and everything that comes with it. So we both live in the Midwest, but not close. So this is our chance to catch up during the week. But yeah.
Yep.
All
Stay
right, my
tuned.
dog.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yep. Appreciate
First,
you on this, man.
first and many.
Yep. Let's
All
get
right,
it.
gang. I'll see you.